So first what we're going to do is we're going to load up, anybody familiar with this screen? Yeah, Kali Linux?
Blue screen?
I think it was a blue screen from Windows.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's not projecting. That's odd. Yes. Let's see here.
You also see that too.
Yeah,
very
nice. Perfect. We're back. Thank you. A slight intermission. Message from our
True demo of IT.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we get, so oftentimes clients will say, hey, can you wear, they ask Chris, our security consultant, they ask me if he can wear a GoPro while he does a pen test. And we tell him it's not as glamorous as you think. Because there's not like techno music playing behind us as we jam away on the keyboard. It's actually, sometimes it's rather boring. And there's a lot of digging through and trying to configure your network hardware. So. But anyways, so the attack scenario that we have today is, like I said, it's pretty basic. It's basic to some, but we use this in actual attacks. And we've used it before. Actually, one of these examples, it was something rather similar. So we have a client that has a Windows system that is hosting an FTP server. Okay, so nothing unheard of. They've got a FileZilla server, right? Nothing unheard of, but it's facing the outside. Kind of just like our client that we went over that example with you. Okay, so one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to open up a tool called ZenMap. Anybody know what ZenMap is or Nmap? Yeah. Network mapping tool. Scan systems, let you know which ports, protocols, and services are open. Pretty basic. Can do some really interesting things as well, but for the most part, that's the system. So we have the IP address of our victim system, which is 192.157.139. Okay? We're going to run a really basic scan on this system to see what's going on with it. Okay, great. So we ran the scan on the system, and we can see a bunch of ports open. We can see FTP, SSH. Let's start from the bottom before we get into too many advanced things and check out FTP. So we've had successes in our pen test. Let's go over to a Windows system and try to connect out to that FTP server using maybe an anonymous account. Okay? Let's go ahead and check. So we load up FTP 192.168.139. Let's try anonymous login. Okay, access denied. We'll try admin. Try another password. No dice. Okay. So we're pretty confident that this server does not have default credentials on it, which is good, right? Big round of applause for our client who does not have default credentials on their FTP server. All well and good. However, in our nifty toolkit, and by the way, this attacker operating system in Kali Linux is freely available to anybody who would like it. We're going to open up a tool called Hydra. Hydra is a brute force tool that we can load in a precompiled password list or a hash table and try to break into systems, right? Authenticating to the system numerous times to see if we can get into an account. There's other ways to do this with password spraying. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, but for this example, we're going to load in our target. Okay, we're going to choose a single target. 192.168.
He probably was Billy or
there we go. 7.139. So we load in our target, specify the port, switch it over to FTP, and now we can get started. First, let me load in a password list. So we have a precompiled password list for FTP servers, right? The most common passwords that are used for FTP, okay? We're also going to specify our username as admin, because everybody likes admin. So do we. Oh my. So we found a password already. So that was like 2 seconds, right? And that password list, I think, has 500 passwords in it. It's not bad. There are password lists with 1 million passwords in them, or more, that organizations and attackers will run for days or weeks trying to get into their systems, and sometimes they never even notice that they're trying to. So what are we going to do now that we have that password? We're going to copy that password. We're going to go back over to our Windows system, because by some miracle, if they haven't seen this already, maybe they're just monitoring to see if there's a Windows client connecting to it. So again, we're going to enter in our credentials. We're going to connect over to that system using our newly discovered admin credentials. We're going to go ahead and log in. So, now we're logged into the system. As we look through, and this is like that private investigation firm, we're looking for something sensitive. So we're probably not going to go into these files, but we may want to take a look at accounts receivable. That might be something that we want to take a look at. And now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer some files. So we're going to transfer some interesting ones. Top secret, employee salaries looks interesting. Social security numbers might be good. Invoice due, yeah, we can check that out. Let's give things a look. We'll put them in our FTP files folder. All right, let's crash that one down. Let's take a look, see what's going on. So top secret, okay, maybe just a cover sheet. Anybody who's working with the government probably chuckles at that one. I don't know if you saw the subtext on it, but it says, this is a cover sheet for useless information, which is kind of funny. No pun intended there. So employee salaries, right? Why would this be on an FTP server? I don't know, but we find stuff like this all the time, and even worse. Okay, so can we use that? Yeah, we could definitely use that for some subsequent attacks. Social security numbers, okay, we've got another list there. Let's check out invoice due. Let's see what this is all about. So we've got an invoice here coming from Wayne Enterprises over to, let's see, okay, over to Infinite Group. Perfect. We've got the person who sent the invoice, we've got the invoice number. They're buying a bat car, throwing stars, body armor, and body leather. Both leather. Perfect. Oh, and we also have their accounting and routing numbers. So this is a pretty common invoice. This is what invoices look like. And they're pretty nebulous to most business owners. When we find invoices, we try to explain. They ask us, what could you do with an invoice? And we try to explain to them, but I think showing it goes far greater lengths. So we know how much the invoice is for. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mount a little bit of a social engineering attack. Okay? So using this information, we want to look for the accounts payable person over at this company. Oh, guess what? They have a LinkedIn account. Perfect. Anybody know who that is? Okay. Anybody watching Mr. Robot? Okay. Great. You can tell we have fun with these things. So now we know who the accounts payable person is over there. So the gears are now turning in our heads of what are we going to do? Are we going to call them? Are we going to send a phishing email? Let's try out calling them first. Okay. So we're going to call the main line on that invoice and start to have a little bit of a conversation with them. Make sure everybody can hear this.
Also, Cybersecurity, how can I help you?
Oh, hi, how are you? This is Don Boehner with Wayne Enterprises, and I'm calling for accounts payable. I was wondering if you could transfer me over there to Gideon.
Absolutely, 1 second.
Okay, great, thank you.
Gideon got it, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling to change an invoice accounting number. I'm from Wayne Enterprises. This is Don Boehner. You have an invoice that's due tomorrow, and I want to go ahead and change the account information before you process that payment.
Okay, 1 second, let me pull up your account real quick.
Okay, great. I have. Yep.
You have to have the invoice number?
I do. Invoice number. Yep, it's 125285.
Okay, I have that information here. Can you please verify the old account and routing numbers?
Sure can. So the old account number is 299-237-642-5567.
Okay.
And the old routing number is 091-092-384.
Alright, I have that pulled up here in front of me.
Perfect, thank you.
Can you just for a little bit of further verification, can you just provide the current invoice amount for me?
Yep, it's for $80,450.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
And then let me just pull this up real quick.
Okay.
What is the new account number?
Yep, new account number is going to be 898-230-143-7890.
Okay. And then the routing number?
842-763-2745.
763. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Let me just get this all set up.
Okay.
It looks like that will take between 1 and 10 business hours to complete. So
Okay.
hopefully by then, everything will be all set for you.
Okay, perfect. And I'm going to upload some more files up to the FTP server right now because I've got some other invoices I'm going to send through. So they'll be there for you. And those will all have the new account information on them.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
Okay,
you very much.
thanks, Gideon. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.
Oh, boy. So, is that enough information to social engineer somebody? It definitely is. Now, we're going to just take this one step further. Okay, so we have access over to that file server, and what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer some files up there from our Windows system with newly created malware. Okay, so back into this directory, we're going to go to our desktop, and we have precompiled malware to upload to them. So we have new employee salaries, invoice due right now, and another one that's called inconceivable, right? Fake names. However, let's see here. Permission denied. There we go. Okay. So now what we have are malware hooks being uploaded to the attacker system that if and when somebody does open them, guess what? It creates a hook on the desktop and relays it back to us. And these are canary tokens, so this is obviously simulated. But this means that somebody opened up the file. It shows us their IP address, where they're coming from, what the source IP is, what the user agent strings are. And this is not malware. This is a canary token just chiming back to us and saying, hey, somebody opened up your file. But malware, we can get anything from turning on your webcam, to logging your keystrokes, to getting administrative privileges over your desktop, so on and so on and so on, the story goes. So again, a very easy attack. We're going to go over some of the demo takeaways from this and show you kind of what happened. So, oops, not from the beginning. Wrong button.
Let's start over.
We're going to do this again. Whole thing. And current slide. So, some of the key takeaways with this, we don't mean to beat up port 21 too much. It's just so easy. Don't use it. Don't use any insecure protocols and services, especially on the edge of your network, right? That's really bad if attackers can get into there. So FTP was used. We had sensitive files that were on that system. The reason why we have accounting information on there is because that's what we find a lot of the times with these externally facing systems. It's for accounting. These are B2B transactions, and accounting information that's being passed, or HR information, is notorious for having FTP servers. Okay? So don't store sensitive files on these externally facing servers. If you do have to, put them in a DMZ with some kind of protections around them, like multi-factor authentication, definitely not over port 21, something more secure. Okay? So once we have this information, and these accounting information, these invoices, these can be in compromised email accounts or whatever the attacker may have. They are extremely valuable for social engineering, right? So we called that person, established a quick rapport with them. We went out to LinkedIn, we found their profile, found out who they were, got directed straight to them, and had inside information about this invoice. It was just an invoice. So are your employees trained to, when somebody calls to ask for their social security number, or do some other validations beyond just maybe they have a piece of paper that says who they are, right? We don't have these things within businesses for that validation phase. So we're finding that attackers are easily social engineering these employees because of a lack of security awareness training. Fund transfer steps, right? You want to change account information? Create some steps within your organization that don't allow attackers and social engineers to do that so quickly. Okay, so we had internal knowledge, and they also had a lack of malware protection because our file triggered an alert and showed us that somebody opened it. There's probably many more takeaways from that of what they did wrong, but those are the basics. Okay. And that is it. Any questions? Okay, good. So we have some things up here. We have some interesting laptop stickers, and also T-shirts and some information flyers and things like that. So feel free to come up. Also, if you want to have a conversation with us, just let us know. We're here.
We're also at booth number 27 if you want to hit us up
We're
afterwards.
Booth number 27, that's right. Yep. Great.